So I finally got around to watching 2017's Logan. Came out about the time I completely gave up on the concept of the movie theater before it was cool. I had already adjusted to avoiding trailers, what with their spoilery nature, and laid pretty low on this one, waiting for it to hit a streaming service that I have. But Ryan Reynolds thought it would be funny to give out the spoilers in promoting Deadpool 2, and at that point, the wait was easy. And you know what? For a comic book movie that transcends the genre, Logan actually sucks.
Vaughan Jog Vlog.
Hugh Jackman doesn't look too bad for his age, and if you want to age like the Wolverine, check out my friends at Caldera Lab. They sent me this mask to try out, and it's not even on the market yet, so I'm probably not supposed to be talking about the deep mask, and that maybe it's for men, maybe women can use it too, but use my promo code FRY15 at checkout and save 15% off your purchase at calderalab.com. Picking up nowhere near where Days of Future Past ended, the year is 2029, and Logan, James Howlett, the badass Wolverine, is a limousine driver, apparently moving folks around the southern border. He's saving up money to buy a boat to put 90-something-year-old Professor X out to sea. Patrick Stewart's Professor X dropping F-bombs, some drunk chick flashes Logan, big violence. Jesus, not what I would have expected to come of the X-Men franchise after seeing the 2000 movie. And it really comes across as bad fan fiction, disregarding continuity, injecting a wish list for R-rated appeal, and generally raising more questions than it has answers. What happened to the mansion? Where are the other X-Men? Does anyone even remember this Caliban guy? Are we to believe that one of these telepathic episodes Charles is having wiped out the X-Men besides Wolverine? That's all I'm left to assume, and it's so dark that it should have fans in an uproar. The leap taken between films is incongruent and so substantial, it should have been clarified. Look, Alien 3 kills off Hicks and Newt, but it ain't like the movie opens with Ripley sporting a shaved head without explanation. Speaking of, I thought Charles Xavier is completely bald. Why is he sporting the Hulk Hogan skullet? There's a young girl on the run that Logan is quested with protecting. Her name's Laura. Professor X says, "Doesn't she remind you of someone?" To which I instantly drew the connection between her arched eyebrows and the Botox of Famke Janssen's Jean Grey. Only for the movie to never confirm this. We do learn that Laura is somehow Logan's daughter because that's 2029 tech for you. Just some people have a DNA sample and we can make kids of it. Laura also has adamantium bones, only the procedure can now be done at the dentist's office. She's also one of those girls so powerful she can't communicate with simple humans. Think Stranger Things 11 in season 1. Look, I've always hated this trope, and if you don't believe me, go back 5 years and watch me complain of it in the Stranger Things diss track. Before I get to burning this flick any deeper, miss me with that Marvel MCU fanboy shit. I've railed against those movies for years, haven't seen most of the DC Extended Universe crap either. But you know what? I did champion Fox's X-Men saga more than others. It remained relatively more niche, and working outside of Disney provided some room for danger, individuality, and consequences. Even though many of the X-Men films hinged on Wolverine, I haven't cared yet for the Wolverine offshoot series. I like the character. I own his first appearance comic with white pages. But these Wolverine movies do much retreading. Worthless, one-dimensional villains who each time want to build a new Wolverine. X-Men Origins. We made Wolverine, but also let's try again and Deadpool can be Wolverine. The Wolverine. Old Japanese guy wants to be Wolverine. Settles for Silver Samurai. Even X2 had a lady Wolverine for the hell of it. Point is, we've done this, and in a world of mutants, Wolverine is far from being the most useful. At least Magneto's initial plan hinged on Rogue. But let's talk about the villains more. I don't remember their names and neither should you. We have this guy in pursuit. He has a rather advanced android hand which accomplishes shit all for him. Early in the movie, Laura gets the drop on him, takes him out. Logan tells Caliban to drop him in the desert. Caliban's like, what if he wakes up? Logan gives a good kick, to which I was under the impression broke his neck. And oh, he's fine. So he's a mutant and there's an explanation, right? No, because this is a tentpole film post The Force Awakens, and explanations are now frowned upon. So Caliban is captured. His mutant abilities are 1, being easily killable, and 2, he can track mutants. And this leads to the bulk of the adventure, putting Logan, Charles, and Laura on the run, with evil men in black one step behind. They go to a hotel casino so they can watch Shane on TV, so our hack scribes can angle the audience into drawing comparisons. Look, if the characters of a movie are hitting pause to watch a better movie, that should be a red flag, but because audiences are largely stupid, it's, whoa, insightful homage, let me get on Twitter and point out the allegory, throw together a clickbait video for YouTube. Logan is a little worse for wear in this film, and it's inferred that his adamantium grafted bones are poisoning him. Took long enough to become a problem, right? So he's healing up slower than previously. Otherwise, I guess he ain't doing too bad considering what he's been through. We also learn that the X-Men comics suddenly exist in this world of the X-Men films. If you spend any time at all thinking about this, then you have my sympathy. Who publishes them? Surely Professor X is drawing loyalties in the least. I'd still like to know how he suddenly broke and holed up in a water tower. But Vaughn, you get to see how the characters are broken now. It doesn't matter how they got there, so long as it's ruining your childhood. So the trio's cover is blown, and they're on the road again. We know damn well that any human who helps Wolverine isn't long for this world, so with this in mind, Charles accepts an invitation for dinner with the Black family. And here comes our dragon, the X-24 clone of Wolverine, and it's at this point I could tell that Logan is simply a ripoff of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Hear me out. Weird, unkillable father figure to some kid he just met, who is the key to the future, being pursued by an enemy whose appearance lets him get in close to use knife arms. Yup. Same movie. X-24 stabs Charles, as well as the completely innocent Black family. Now's a good time to point out how bad this movie looks on an aesthetic level, because Night really fails it. Logan was shot digitally, and it shows because dark sequences are just a blurry mess. Oh hey, Soul Glow survived. Hopefully he can get to the ER. And so Charles Xavier dies in an X-Men movie. Again. And now that he's out of the picture, Laura can suddenly talk with Dad. Gotta love it when a mute character becomes talkative, all for the sake of plot convenience. She leads Pops to a location from the X-Men comics where all of the runaway experimental unnatural mutant kids have gathered. What's their big plan? Cross the border into Canada. They even hilariously have been approved for asylum. Or at least that's what a random voice on a radio says. Funnier yet, the bad guys, who have wreaked havoc to the point that a high school gym is used for triage, are totally on board with respecting jurisdiction. So we have this stupid chase in the woods where, mind you, each of these kids has a mutant ability, only they don't seem to remember this until caught by basic white guys. Is this chick reverse Magneto? Like, she can only control wood? X-24 and Logan have it out. A magical bullet introduced earlier comes into play. Good thing it just so happens to fit the first gun Laura picks up. This bullet is adamantium, and Logan was going on about how he keeps it on him and contemplates suicide, so the audience is tricked into thinking this movie has mature themes. Apparently, writer-director James Mangold was hoping you don't remember X-Men Origins Wolverine, where an adamantium bullet to the head didn't kill Wolverine, but instead wiped his memory, putting him on a path that takes him to joining the X-Men. Oh, but now it's deadly to Wolverines. Solid writing, folks. No plot holes here. You know what is also deadly to Wolverines? Apparently trees. Now, I know you're going to say that Logan overdosed on this magical vaccine the kids gave him. Fine. But this faux tearjerker ending can be quickly dismissed. We've seen Wolverine take days to recover while out of it. What's to say he's not going to be sleeping off this injury as well? And even if this is the last time we see this Wolverine, as played by Hugh Jackman, given that comic book properties are the dominant force in the waning years of the box office, are we really to believe that Disney doesn't have plans to insert Wolverine into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? These heroes and even villains have so many possible paths to resurrection, I can't muster the feels for any of them. I'm no longer surprised to see a bad movie win over critics. Logan has a 93% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the yardstick for critical pandering as of the posting of this video. That doesn't mean it pulled some social justice narrative points, though I'm sure some feminist fangirls squealed over the new Wolverine being a girl. But Vaughn, it happens in the comics. Marvel comic books published after Disney's acquisition aren't comic books, and the characters they introduce are just replacements for white men. There's no money left to be made making good movies, but widespread denial has the public lying to themselves. Everything is a disappointing waste of time, but there's a cult of rabid fans ready to tell you otherwise, like some volunteer public relations army trying to keep this dead medium afloat. Comic book movies didn't save cinema. They raised the stakes to the point that every movie has to have at least multiple worlds at jeopardy, and perhaps even the multiverse needs saving, just to get people to buy a ticket. Logan and the X-Men films are generally restrained with more relatable action, and they don't gross $1 billion a picture, so I guess these are flops now. Gotta work the X-Men into the MCU to rake in more geek money. We don't even have rom-coms anymore, because there's more profit in making a movie for everyone than multiple movies for each taste. Hollywood is like going to the ice cream man, and all he has is vanilla because it's the most popular flavor. You would have liked chocolate, but there's more profit in only stocking vanilla, so you're having vanilla. This isn't a popular opinion, but as you can see, I'm used to being unpopular. In time, maybe as many as 5 or 6 people will agree with me. I give Logan 1.5 out of 4 stars. And since I'm the only guy on YouTube with the balls to put a score at the end of his movie reviews, go ahead and hit that dislike and leave the usual threats below.
Thank you for watching my son's YouTube station. It's not for everyone, but he tries. Maybe if you bought some merch below, he'll eventually get good at the YouTubing.